What's up, everybody? The Destroyer here. Welcome back to another cast of Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle 2, patch 1.08. Today we have a 1v1 on Forts of Isen II, which is, of course, the most popular map in the world. But we have RECON and Xelenos as the Goblin player in the top left against his opponent today, ArCh4Ng3L, or also goes by Otto. He is the Elves in the bottom right. ArCh4Ng3L, of course, is a quite good player. As Xelenos, though, so this should be a good game, I hope. So we'll find out. Looks like we're going for 3 Goblin Caves start. Tunnels, rather. Goblin Caves are an entirely different structure. 3 tunnel starts there. 4 tunnel, even. So Xelenos going heavy on the economy front there. ArCh4Ng3L going 2 trees into a barracks. And then getting his 3rd tree there. Xelenos using his cave bats to spy. Do they only just reveal this right? Yeah, they do the same thing as they do in every other patch, as expected. ArCh4Ng3L has not got himself a power as of yet. Doesn't look like he's going to spy on his enemy. He probably knows what the goblins are going to do. Make some goblins. Possibly? Nope. Looks like we have a spider pit being thrown down for Xelenos. So that should be netting him some spider riders, I would expect. I don't know how viable spiderlings are in patch 1.08. I mean, even in Rise of the Witch King, unless the enemy's going for lancers, spiderlings aren't that useful. But in patch 1.8, I have no idea how good they are, because I have never seen them used, I don't think. We have Learning Warriors being brought out for ArCh4Ng3L there, who's sending his archers up here to probably take out this troll, I would expect. He's definitely going to. He's throwing down the rally call on his guys. And he's throwing a melon tree up here. These are popular spots to build farms right here and right here. I guess because it gives good vision of the inn, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's just a good spot. Oh, we do have spiderlings. Interesting. I guess we'll get to see him in action. Of course, they do have the purchasable venom sacks, which 2.02 version 5.0.1 does not, that I'm used to. I'm just used to the clicking cooldown thing. But this is the old way, and I believe the way it'll be reverted back to in that. But enough about that patch anyway. This is not that patch, turns out. Even if I am a caster of that, I do cast some 1.08 on occasion. Looks like he's using his spiderlings to scout here. They, of course, are the fastest unit in the game, I believe. How good are they against trees? Actually, pretty effective. Given a few seconds, he'll take down this melon tree very quickly. How good are they against archers, though, I wonder? Probably not very good. Looks like Xelenos trying to get him out of there. Although they are fairly effective against the swordsmen, it seems. As you would expect, because that's what they're supposed to be good against. Looks like ArCh4Ng3L trying to kite his guys through the troll and actually managed to succeed there. Save his guys. Good play there. 2 goblin caves being thrown down for Xelenos. So now he's getting spiderlings and goblin warriors, or possibly archers. Probably warriors, I expect, when he decides to build out of that. And we have peasants? That's right, peasants are what's... Ooh. Unfortunately, he did not take out the troll. And most of those peasants get their ass kicked as they come out. Unfortunate. So the homeless troll will have to stay there and mourn the loss of his little cave until he is taken out. So really, that's going to negate the inn from being very useful unless his guys come out and go directly south immediately. Maybe they might get out of harm's way. Looks like he was using the spiderlings to counter the speed of the lancers, as we see in a lot of games in different patches. That's really where spiderlings shine, I think. It's just the ability to help catch the lancers, or cavalry in general. This is the 2 peasant stragglers that managed to survive. Is he getting any more? Probably not. I don't think peasants are very good. I think they're just like a spam unit for the elves, really. Looks like cave trolls are unlocked at level 1 in this patch. But he's upgrading to level 2 to possibly get some half troll marauders, which to deal with the Lancer problem. Of course, they're just a very good unit in general also. Looks like Archangel's cleared out this war glare here. So he's got the gold in the power point, which is always nice. Speaking of which, let's take a look at power points. We have 4 power points for Xelenos, who's at 258 to 550 army. And we have 274 of 500 army, so we have about the same size army pretty much. And Xelenos is slightly ahead on the power point front. Only slightly. Not too many combat situations have been dealt as of yet. Little skirmishes here and there. We have a Mirror Galadriel being thrown down to heal up the units. Oh yeah, those 2 guys will now turn into more battalion, since he was able to save them. Of course, if you're going to play with round of cavalry, you do want to get a Mirror Galadriel or a well if you're the Men of the West or what have you. Whatever your faction's thing is for healing. As it does save you a lot of money in the long run. Once they get wounded, you come back home, you heal up, you go back out again. That's kind of how it works. Oh, the builder, did he throw down a wall hub? Probably. He did indeed. Now those lings will take down this tree of Archangels fairly quickly. Getting his archers in a position and his peasants as well. Can they be upgraded? Let me click on these guys real quick. Nope. Peasants could not be upgraded in this patch. There's some Spider Riders out for Xelenos now. Looks like he had some Spider Riders. He has a couple remnants left at this point. Of that battalion at least. 2 battalions of Hathor Marauders out in the field now. So the Lancers better watch out. Lancers, of course, can't trample the Hathor Marauders, so they don't just run into them and die. Which is really the downside for Goblins as pikemen, since these can't be trampled. But they, of course, do massive damage to horses, as you would expect. As you see, there are no slouches against cavalry, so as long as they're paying attention, they will take them down very quickly. There goes the rally call on the army of the Elves. And now Archangel's going to get a flank possibly on the Goblin army coming up behind him from his own sector. But looks like Xelenos going for an attack on his base. He's going to take down a tree before heading in, doing more damage. If he gets in right here, that could be a good spot. He'll be right in between. Yeah, there you go. Archangel's in a lot of trouble now. He needs to get his army in here immediately and put a stop to this. If he loses too much. He's lost both of his barracks. He's going to lose his green pasture. He's lost the tree already. He's definitely taking a lot of damage. Unfortunately, his army is just way out of position. Now the rest of his army is way out of position. Perhaps staying here to make sure nothing else comes over. Or maybe just forgetting to move them. There's a lot of lings still alive, which is going to make trouble for the Elves, of course. I don't think Spiderlings are very good against pikes, though. And of course, they're definitely not good against archers. Now it looks like he has some building to do, I definitely say. He needs his barracks back immediately if he's going to keep up with the Goblins. Goblins, of course, are the team that you don't want to fall behind because they can spam ridiculous amounts of stuff very quickly. I don't know if I'd say they're second to Mordor in this patch. Mordor, they're pretty spammable in this patch. The orcs are. So, hard to say. I'd say Goblins are always going to be the most spammable team, though. I mean, 75, I think it's still cheaper than Orc Warriors in this patch. 325 for Archers is still pretty cheap. Marauders aren't cheap. Sitting at 500. But, you know. You throw them in with your armies. Especially when you have stuff like Scavenger. You can afford to do so. Looks like he's gone for the Summon Wildman, though. And now they begin working down the Fortress of Archangel. Who doesn't have his army in position once again. He might actually lose his fort here if he's not careful. He does have himself an Arwen, though. He does have a flood ability. He needs to use it, I think. If he wants to negate too much damage to his fortress. Maybe not. I don't know. I guess he's not too worried about it. Arwen's flood ability is amazing against goblins, but at the same time it's kind of bad. Because it'll kill the army, But, I mean, the army will replenish itself very quickly because it's goblins. And that's the downside about fighting goblins, is okay, it's like, oh, I killed a huge army of goblins, but then you realize there'll just be another huge army on its way. Probably right afterward. Although with the army compositions that Xelenos is going for, it won't be as bad because he's going for mainly spider riders and half-troll marauders at this point. With a spattering of goblin warriors and spiderlings. Looks like he's opting to stop going for spiderlings at this point. Looks like he's saving for a 15 power point as well. ArCh4Ng3L, of course, got his arrow volley. He's got 6 power points now. He's at 450 command point limit, whereas Xelenos is at 800, so he's way ahead in command points. Or economy, rather. Well, both, rather, I guess. And unfortunately, this troll still not dealt with is just basically killing off anything that comes out of this. I'd say any peasants that's sent out of here is kind of a waste. 120 resources thrown on the drain. Unless he takes out that troll. Unless, of course, he can get him down here, but as you see here, in the direction they're going, and by the time they get to where they're going, they don't really have much left. The fight is gone by the time they get there. Unfortunately, he does lose another tree to the goblin hordes, this time to the warriors. I'm curious to see how balanced goblin warriors are in this patch. Because everyone knows Goblin Warriors are a little bit OP in patch 2.02 Rise of the Witch King at this point. But I'm not sure about this patch. The balancing is very different. And of course there's less units to take into account also, so it's different all around, as you would expect. But the unit itself, I'm just wondering, like, statistically how comparable it is to what I'm used to. Tell you though. Can Lancers fight Goblin Spider Raiders one-on-one? Probably not. No, they cannot. Goblin Spider Raiders are still more powerful than Lancers, but it's not more powerful than Arwen. Arwen's actually a great counter for Spider Raiders, as you see there. Cavalry in general, Arwen actually does pretty well against. For trying to stop the harassment and such. ArCh4Ng3L starting to get rebuilt though. He's got a couple towers to help defend his base. He's got his barracks back. Starting to get his trees back as well. Oh, Xelenos getting a big run through on the archer line though. That's going to cost ArCh4Ng3L a little bit. Although a lot of the stragglers survived and he can throw them back up here to heal up again. Battalion of half-trolls is killed off. Oh! Watcher being thrown out with the cave bats. Gigantic whip killing basically that every single archer there except for that one big watcher. Big plays. I think Arwen used her flood there. Oh, there's cave trolls being brought in to try and destroy the fort. Is the watcher doing damage to the fortress? He is indeed. Fortunately though, he does not last too long for ArCh4Ng3L. With those cave trolls, he almost got it. He's got another cave troll ready. Is he getting more? No, he's getting half trolls. He's going to upgrade and probably get more half trolls, and maybe even giants. One giant will probably end the life of the elves, I think. He's now getting some wall hubs to help defend his fort a little bit. Good call. Is his fort taking damage or rebuilding? I think it's rebuilding. Yes, he's rebuilding. His life's coming up. Very good. Ah, those spider riders just doing massive amounts of damage. He's able to get in there and get kills fairly well. He's up to 9 power points already after getting his 15. He's at 465 of 1,000. And of course ArCh4Ng3L is at 372 of 400. He does have a summon Ents though. With one big push, ArCh4Ng3L could destroy the fortress of the goblins. Or just one sneaky push if his goblin army is not at his base. And he's able to actually defend it and attack. I guess only time will tell. He could also use the Ents for defense. But I don't think Ents are very good against half-troll marauders. So that wouldn't be wise, but maybe not. You always know when the ants are being summoned in this patch. God, my ears. Makes me wish I wasn't wearing headphones. Yeah, the Half-Troll Marauder is tearing these ants to pieces. Unfortunately, they will fall before doing too much. They'll get a couple hits in there, but that's about it, unfortunately for him. Let's get Arrow Volley's being followed in. Oh, nice one. Does take out the Spider Riders and a lot of the Half-Trolls. Well, I guess none of the Half-Trolls actually died. Managing to armor up before they died. Second attack went in on Archangel's base as well, but he managed to defend as well. Arwen's up to level 5. She gets Athelos at level 8. If that matters. Couldn't say. Because it does the same thing. Just heal by never from the heroes. Yeah. Does indeed. Well, he's kind of evened things out a bit. At least until the next Goblin army shows up, I'd say. Which is now in full effect. I always love the look of Goblin armies. They're just... Well, I freaking hope so, because I always get Goblins when I play random. Every time. But yeah. Half-Troll Marauders with little sword guys behind them and stuff. I just like the look of the Goblin armies. Looks like Archangel's going to lose another tree here. And of course, more power points will go to Xelenos, who's getting close to getting himself a Balrog, which will be disastrous for Archangel. That actually might be the end of the game for Archangel if the Balrog shows up. Guess only time will tell. Archangel's at 8 power points, nowhere near his 25. He's actually going for a counter-offensive, though. Oh, no, maybe not. Just holding up the ford. Maybe just waiting for the rest of his army. He does have to watch out for Watchers, though. It's not off cooldown yet, thankfully for him, but if it were, and he clumped up his army, he could lose it all in one fell swoop, which would not be good for him. You always have to watch out for that, especially when you know your opponent has the Watcher. In comes some sneaky peasants looking to do some damage to Xelenos' base. Probably not going to get too much done. Excuse me. But still, they can do damage. Actually, they're doing fairly good damage, I'd say. Structures are fairly weak in patch 1.08, so they do fall fairly quick. One battalion of Spider Riders, though, will take that down easily. So Xelenos can focus the hordes all the way towards Archangel's base, who does now have himself a Haldir. Very nice. So that should help him out a little bit. He's not the strongest of heroes, but he does help out, especially when you get that 50% damage buff. You know, forward fissure being thrown down by Xelenos, who's going to try and probably bum rush trolls against his enemy, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. But Xelenos is going for an attack on his base. He does take down the tree. Will he get the barracks? He will get the barracks. Most definitely. This could be the final blow. Although I'm not sure there's enough goblins here. And he doesn't have any trolls, I don't think. Now that the army of the elves is here, I'm not sure. He really has to get rid of the half-trolls. Looks like the fortress is targeting the half-trolls, though. So once they're dead, I think he'll be alright. And the wall hub's soaking up a lot of damage, though. This is why you want to build the wall hubs. Sometimes. These wall hubs absorb damage fairly well. There's the Balrog, though. That's definitely going to seal the deal for Archangel. Especially with these cave trolls in tow. Once the cave trolls get to the fort, they'll take it down easily. All he has to do is get rid of this tower. He's trying to keep the army away. Keep the army at bay and get the trolls in there. He could do the damage to the fort he needs to do. Unfortunately, the trolls are killed off by Tom Bombadil with Haldir. Balrog is still decently effective against the fort. He could take it down by himself. And I'm guessing he's going to. And if that fort falls, of course, any hope falls for Archangel, I think. Good Tom Bombadil and Haldir go. Trying desperately to whittle it down. Oh dear. How they're being sent flying into corpse. Brutal. And of course the reinforcements coming in for Xelenos. Take down the fortress of Archangel. Big power play there. And that will, of course, get rid of all the buildings. Archangel still has the barracks back here. His builder ran off this direction. There he is. Balrog has done his duty. He's going back to the underworld where he came. There is still an army of elves out here, but I think that's not going to be too big of a deal. The amount of goblins that Xelenos can bring out. He's even going for archers there. But he doesn't know where the barracks is. So once he takes out that barracks, he might be defeated. Yep, there it goes. Alright, there you go. Archangel's been defeated and Xelenos takes that victory. Good game though. Nice little Goblins vs Elves on Fords of Isen II. So well played to both those players. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next cast of patch 1.08 of the Battle of Middle 2. So see you guys next time.